We're standing outside of the Southwood County 2000 ice facility here in Wisconsin Rapids, getting all set for the 2018-19 Wisconsin Rapids Riverkings season. My name is Milt Van Anta, along with our videographer and producer Art and Milt. We'll be covering the Riverkings for you all throughout this 2018-19 campaign. And in just a moment, we're going to head on inside. And the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to get inside the River King locker room and meet the new assistant coach, Devin Roeder. We're going to meet 4 of the returning River Kings players. And after we spend some time with interviews in the locker room, we're headed on the ice with rink manager Jim Arnold, who's going to take us for a ride on the Zamboni and tell us what's been happening this summer. We'll wrap up this episode of River Kings Hockey with a look at the annual opening meeting that head coach Marty Quarters has with his brand new team. All of that's on the way on Wisconsin Rapids Community Media. Come on, we're headed inside. We welcome you inside the River King locker room as we get ready for another season of Wisconsin River King hockey, the 2018-19 season. We taped this program in early September. You enjoy watching it on the platforms of Wisconsin Rapids Community Media all throughout the month of September. Our first guest today is Devin Roeder. Devin is the assistant coach of the River Kings. He joins the coaching staff this year after having been an original River King in their first year of the program back in 2014-15. And Devin, the first thing we want to do is welcome you back to South Central Wisconsin.
Thank you for having me.
So tell us about the journey. You're here as a River King in their initial year, and we'll talk a little bit about your playing career, but how did you get back here as a member of the coaching staff for this 2018-19 season?
I always come back usually during the summer to visit my old host family, and I met up with Marty one night after coming to the rink, and we started talking, and he knew I was going into coaching, and he offered me the job, and it was something I was ecstatic for. I couldn't turn it down.
Well, that's wonderful. Welcome back. Tell us a little bit about then your journey from being here as a player to now being here as an assistant coach. What's been happening in between when you left here in the spring of 2015 to the fall of 2018?
I went back home to Lincoln, Nebraska, and I met with the coaching staff at University of Nebraska-Lincoln Hockey, and they were interested in building hockey down there, and something we did up here when building hockey up and down the river. And it was just a blast to be back home and playing hockey in front of my family again.
So tell us how that's going, because I think everyone would agree when we think of athletics in the University of Nebraska, we think of that football program. But how is the progress going in building the hockey program?
It's going great. Last year the boys made it to nationals. They're the first Nebraska team to do it. So just being a part of that and helping build it was pretty cool.
So talk a little bit about wanting to get into coaching. Did you know that even when you were a player that maybe after your playing days were done that you might want to be behind the bench?
Oh, of course. Growing up, I'd always help little kids skate and help out with some practices, and it was just something I had a blast with, and I couldn't get any other feeling of helping or feeling of enjoyment of helping a kid learn to play hockey, the greatest sport on earth that I thought of. So it was just amazing to help build more and more kids into the sport.
So this is very early September as we record this interview for you. The football season is just getting underway, Devin. So what are hockey players doing right now? Practice has actually begun.
Yeah, they're starting practice, and they're enjoying some football. Unfortunately, Nebraska got rained out, so they were kind of bummed, but I still keep in touch with some of the players and coaches down there, so they're getting excited for the season to start and hopefully making it to nationals again.
So describe a typical day here, working as an assistant coach with the River Kings. What's your day like as practice is underway for this group?
First thing I do, I wake up and I have to do a little schoolwork for college, so usually meet the boys around 11 here at the rink, get everything set, and then usually around 12:45 we go stretch and get ready for practice, and then around 1:30 we get on the ice and practice till around 3:30.
And what type of things are you doing to implement offense, defense, specialty teams, all of that we're so familiar with? What are you doing to implement those River King programs?
Well, knowing the system that Marty runs, because I played for him and learned it myself, I can help the boys learn the ins and outs of everything, where they should go, what they need to yell, like net, and call for the passes. So it helps me because I know the system that we're running.
So this time of year, you're bringing every year in this program a new group of men together. There will probably be somewhere in the neighborhood of a third of the roster that will be returnees, but that means 2/3 is new. How do you build a team? How do you get guys to know each other and learn each other's style of play? What kind of team building things are you working on now?
Well, Marty's a great coach, and he knows how to do that any better than anyone else. And the boys do a great job of getting to know each other by themselves. So it's more the boys do it, and Marty helps out. The boys do a great job of getting to know each other and building a chemistry throughout the season.
What thing above all else are you looking forward to about actually starting to play games not that far from now?
Seeing what the boys got. They've done a great job during the 2 weeks of practices so far, and then games is usually when they turn it up even more because they're excited just as much as we are.
That's Devin Roeder. He's one of the new assistant coaches on the River King bench this year. You'll be seeing a lot of him as we bring you coverage of the River Kings all throughout the 2018-19 campaign. We're going to visit with a couple of the players after a short time out on this edition of River Kings Hockey on Wisconsin Rapids Community Media. We welcome you back into the River Kings locker room here at the Southwood County Rec Center. Again, we're getting you ready for the 2018-19 hockey season. As the football season is just underway, these hockey players are preparing for their winter campaign, and they've already entered their second week of practice. This time we're with Jesse Edwards, the native of Rochester, New York, who's on my right. To my left is Cole Krieger from Lafayette, Colorado, and they are both returning River Kings, their second year in the program, and we're going to catch up with them. And Jesse, let's talk a little bit about the difference from year two from year one. What's it like having a year within the River Kings program under your belt to come back this year?
It's definitely different. It's a lot easier, I think. Coming in last year, you don't really know what to expect. With a new team, you don't know any of the guys. So coming in this year, I was really excited to get back to work and yeah, hopefully get back to where we were last year.
Cole, same question for you. Tell me how it's different being a returner as opposed to a first-year player.
Well, you always have a bigger role coming back. I mean, people are going to look up to you. They're going to expect a lot more out of you. I mean, it's definitely nice. Marty kind of goes to the returners to lead the team and lead the practices and get everyone on board and get everyone to be on the same page and ready for the season.
Can you fill us in a little bit more on that leadership role? As a second-year player, what kind of specific things do you do with the first-year guys to let them know what the River Kings program means?
It's a lot of just making sure that everyone knows what kind of style of hockey we play, what the energy in the locker room is like. I mean, this year it's been phenomenal. Like, everyone's on board, great energy in the locker room. Everyone's buying in right away. But it's always nice seeing the boys just come together right away and know how to play as a team and already starting to click and get the chemistry going.
So from that standpoint, for you, it feels like things are coming together early.
Yeah, for sure.
Jesse, would you comment kind of on that same thing about what things you're doing differently this year to teach the first-year players what it means to be a River King?
Yeah, I think it's like coming in, there's always going to be an adjustment from wherever they played last year. I know my first year there was definitely an adjustment, and so as a returner, we kind of look, and Marty looks to us to establish habits, because he always preaches like the same habits and like getting to the net, always talking. So just as a returner, you got to make sure that you practice as you preach, and you're doing it first, and then you can talk to the new guys, and hopefully they'll follow in your steps.
So what are the most important things to get established in the first 2 weeks of practice?
So far, it's basically been Well, we haven't really got any we have been doing systems and stuff, but it's more just the fundamental habits, like going to the net hard, always talking, knowing what you're doing, coming to practice focused every day, and just making sure that everything you do during the day is contributing to making us better and not worse.
So, Cole, last year this team goes to the national tournament for a second consecutive year. You set a standard now for this program, and that level is where you want to get back to, isn't it?
Correct.
So talk more about that. What's necessary this time of year so that can be possible in March?
Well, we have a pretty young team coming in, but I mean, it seems like everyone, that's our main goal. We always want to go as far as we can, leave the biggest name, just lead the legacy here. But I mean, this year, just buying in and making sure we're all on the same page, doing the same thing, and as long as we're playing the same kind of hockey and we have the good energy that we have continuing through the full year, and just making sure that we all have the same focus, I mean, it should be a pretty easy year if we do that.
Okay. So, just tell me what you're working on individually. As a player, every player wants to improve from one year to the next. Where does Cole want to get better?
I've always been more of a physical player, and just where it comes in, being an older role, like I got to lead that still and make sure everyone's buying in and still playing physical, but also just being more of a playmaker, getting more shots, making more passes, and just kind of leading on the ice of what kind of River King hockey is: fast, hard, physical.
Jesse, how about you? What are you working on? Where do you want to improve your game this year?
Well, I definitely want to be more of a leader. I think that just comes with being a returner. Also, I wanted to work on my shot more. Last year I had kind of like a disproportionate amount of assists to goals, so I wanted to fix that. And I mean, I'm a smaller player, so I always kind of took pride in my skill game, but I know to get to the next level and get to college that you need to be more gritty, like Cole said, so that's something I'm working on.
Is that the next level of goal? I mean, you have goals for this River Kings season, but do you have the goal beyond that to continue playing on a higher level, perhaps as early as next year?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is my last year, but I'm not looking too far forward into the future. Obviously, it's River Kings first, and we want to get back to nationals and hopefully win. But past that, I'd like to play college hockey. Either first, I'd like to play NCAA first, but if that didn't pan out, then ACHA, I would do that too.
So I look at the schedule for this year, and in past years, we've been with you here early on in the season. As early as late September, we featured a home game. That's not going to be the case this year. You guys open up with a long road trip. Tell us about getting ready for that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little different. I mean, I think it's better for us because we don't got to travel as much in the winter. So we get all that stuff kind of out of the way. But as far as, I mean, when you're on the road, it's a little harder to get into your style of play than being at home. I mean, you got the energy from the fans and everything. So it's more about us just being focused and being ready to go in all those away games. And then hopefully by the time we get back, we're at top speed for all the fans here.
Well, Cole, sometimes guys like me, fans who are watching from the outside, hear teams say that sometimes on the road you can actually become closer as a team and bond as a team. I think that's one of the reasons that we're going to start off with the number of road games this year, some team building.
Yeah, I think for sure. I mean, with those long road trips, we're all together on the bus. We're all staying in the same hotel. So, I mean, it's definitely nice being together as a team. You get to bond and get as close as possible. And then once you guys come back and have those home games, it's already that team chemistry that's been built, and you're so close as a team that it's so helpful.
Thanks, guys. We're going to look forward to watching your play here on the ice this year. Jesse Edwards, Cole Krieger, returning River Kings. We're going to have another pair of River Kings to visit with right after a very short timeout on Wisconsin Rapids Community Media. And once again, we join you from the River Kings locker room. My name, Milt Van Atta, your host, along with Richard Young from Chicago, Illinois, on my right. This is Raymond Fleming from the greater Seattle, Washington area on my left. Both of them are returning River Kings. This is Richard's third year in the program. It is Raymond's second year in the program. And we're looking forward again this year to welcoming their play on the ice and bringing it to you right here on Wisconsin Rapids Community Media. Raymond Fleming, defenseman, and last year Ray, it was just great to watch you and Tommy McManus. You were a wonderful defense pair and a part of a really strong defensive unit for the Riverkings. So this year you're going to have a new defense mate. You're going to have a new, really young defense core. Talk about learning and getting to know your new teammates.
Yeah, we had a solid top four. I mean, most of the D-core was just had a lot of skill in general, but that top four was really solid last year. It's tough being the only returner from that group, but I think Marty, he's done a really good job of recruiting a really good D-core. We got Colin and Hartley. They're also returning from last year. Yeah. They're looking to step up from their roles last year. They're looking for a top four spot as well. So we got a lot of competition for that top four, top six role. I think it'll be a good year for D.
So if not already soon, you'll be having a new defense partner. What kind of things do you have to learn about each other's games so you mesh and you're at your best as you were last year coming down the stretch in February and March?
Yeah, Tom and I don't know if you guys remember, we were always on the same page. We kind of always said that last year. So with my partner, whoever it's going to be this year, we're going to try to be on the same page like we were last year, do almost the same thing. Just make sure we always get along. That's the biggest thing. You just don't want to be kind of enemies with your D partner. You want to always be friends, just always listen to each other, and just if you mesh well, the pairing just works so much better.
Richard, coming back now for your third year as a River King. Talk to me about your expectations for this year.
I think it's pretty simple. Is go back to nationals. For the past 2 years, we made it there, and I think right now our goal is definitely to go back there and try our best to win the national title. It's always been the same clear-cut goal, and I think there's no reason to change it. So,
how about you as an individual? Now, you're in your third year. You can really feel comfortable in this program. You know Coach Quarters well. What kind of things as an individual are you looking to accomplish this year to help the team reach their goals?
I'm kind of looking to I guess provide like a leadership role and try and show some of the new guys how the way things work, because I'm so used to it by now, but obviously the newer guys, they're not as accustomed because they're brand new and they're unsure. So I just kind of want to help those guys, push those guys in the same direction so that we can start moving as a team and start playing better as a team and start moving forward, which I think will help a lot.
So give me a concise one-paragraph answer to what is the River King culture. So you know it, and you're trying to convey it to a locker room full of guys who are here for just been here a couple of weeks. What is the culture you're conveying to them?
I think the culture that I'm trying to convey, and that a lot of the returners are also trying to convey, is that we want to attack each battle with 100%, even if it's off the ice or on the ice. We just want to do everything to the best of our ability because it just makes us better. There's no reason why we shouldn't be able to do it 100%. So even when it comes to cleaning the locker room or setting up the stall or going out in the public, we just always want to be the best at what we do and try to be the best at least.
Now this River Kings program is deeply committed to community service. What are some of the favorite things that you've done in community service in the first couple of years, Richard?
I really enjoy going to the Grand Affair. I think that's awesome. I like going, the past 2 years have been really nice and sunny out, and then people pull out their cool cars and the old cars and stuff, and then we set up our own booth and we hand out some schedules and try to sell some jerseys. I think that's a lot of fun. That should be coming up this Sunday, I think, is when we're going to do it. So I'm very excited for that. That's always a good time.
Raymond, how about you? What part of the community involvement of the River Kings has been the most fun for you?
Yeah, last year we did we helped out Jim Arnold, who works at the rink all year round, with a lot of field trips. A lot of kids come here from the elementary schools. We always do that. And then we just helped out with some ice times yesterday as well, so we're already starting to do that this year. And I think mostly I enjoy the field trips the most. Just the kids, they always seem to have fun. And all the teachers and kids, they wanted to come back here from last year as well.
Raymond, what are the physical challenges of training camp and getting back into contact and that kind of thing? What about that?
Yeah, I think most of the guys when they train in the summer, they're just not on the ice as consistently as during the season. Maybe on the ice, let's say 3-4 times the most during a week. But right now during training camp, we're on the ice 4 or 5 times a week. Hard 1.5 hour, 2 hour ice times. all the guys' legs at the end of the week last week were just sore. Everyone's not complaining. Their just legs are sore. And they're starting to mention that. So I think most of the guys, they're going to get used to it by now during the season. They're going to be on a roll, and everything will be fine.
So what role, I'm going to ask both of you guys this, what role does training camp play? How important is it that training camp's good if you're going to have a chance to compete to get back to Boston?
Well, even if training camp is, let's say, okay, it's kind of a middle ground from your summer season to the season, because it just, all the guys getting to know, like, let's see, kind of being on the ice consistently compared to the summertime.
Yeah.
So just once they get around that routine, they're going to be ready for games for sure.
Richard, how about you? What do you think about that?
Yeah, I agree. I think training camp is very important. It definitely gets you back into the swing of things, but it also sets a good precedent on how hard our coach wants us to train and how hard he expects us to train. And so I think that's training camp's a very good introduction of, I guess, what you just got into and with the Riverkings and how hard we want to work.
So now, as we head into the second week of training camp, at what point in there, Richard, is like, man, I just want to hit on somebody in a different sweater. I just want to get out there and play a game because I'm kind of tired of this.
To be honest, it's like an all summer. It's a summer-long thing. As soon as the last game ends last season, I'm itching. It's about a week, and then I'm itching to play games again. I'm still thinking about it. I'm counting down the days, but this Saturday we're playing a preseason game. Yeah, for I believe Concordia, Milwaukee is where we'll be, and so I'm very excited, and I think everybody's very excited to play, to really see how well we work as a team together, and to see how we play with one another.
Raymond, how about that question for you? Are you looking forward to getting on the ice against another team?
Yeah, pretty much just reiterating what Richie said. Pretty much just a week or two after the season, kind of banged up a little bit. Then after your all recovery, just, wow, I wish I was on the ice again. So I'm same as Richie. I'm counting on the days as well.
Okay. So give me a quick feel about that opening month on the road for this team.
Yeah, I think with like you talked to Cole and Jesse about that, I think it builds a lot of team bonding, being on the road, being together all the time in those hotels, the buses, and then it's nice to kind of wind down the second half of the year where you're all bonded already pretty much, and then you don't have to be on the road during the winter months as well.
Gentlemen, thank you both. Looking forward to this season of River Kings hockey. Raymond Fleming, Richard Young, our guests on this segment. We'll be with you all throughout the hockey season, monthly programs like this one, coverage of the games here at the Southwood County Rec Center. Wisconsin Rapids Community Media is your home for River King hockey. I've spent many an evening in this hockey rink, and it's up at the press box level. And I've watched in between periods as any number of people have driven the Zamboni and resurfaced the ice. Never thought I'd do a lap myself, but I did today, and it was a great deal of fun. Thanks to Jim Arnold, the Southwood County 2000 rink manager. Jim, here we are. We've got hockey players in the building. We've got a fresh sheet of ice. It's transitioning into fall.
The 2018-19 season is upon us, and we're looking for new Zamboni drivers. I think we have our first driver signed up for the first period of the game.
Yeah. Well, how about that? So tell us about what goes on here at the summer, because it's not, you drive by and you think it's dark and it's never used. Quite the contrary.
We have gotten our season started here in July with a little bit of curling. So when the 4th of July comes, the temperature gets to be 90 degrees. We come inside and start making our little ice cave and building ice. It takes about 10 days. We've had help from figure skating, the Hockey Association, and Tri-City Curling does quite a bit of work to volunteer and get us started on our season.
So are you happy with this sheet? Because this will be the foundation that'll take you through the winter.
This is a great sheet. I can't tell you how many goals, how many wins and losses are in this sheet, but it's ready for the season.
So what will begin happening now here at the rink in September? Just was in the locker room, talked to a couple of the Riverkings. They talked about helping out with young people, already bringing young people in for events.
We did. We started last night with a little bit of cross ice. It's similar to you wouldn't teach a kid how to play baseball at Miller Park. So playing at 6 years old on an NHL-sized rink is a little bit difficult. One of the things we do is we turn the game sideways and play cross ice. And last night was our first night to bring out our 6-year-olds, 8-year-olds, and the Riverkings. We had Richie and a couple of his teammates come out and help us out, and it was a great time out here to get started.
And one of the things you and I were visiting about is that's actually a new start time for Riverking games this year.
The biggest change that I am excited about is moving that face-off from 7:30 to 7. So warm-ups will be at 6:30. The puck will drop just after 7. And when you get done with that big victory and you can't go to bed, you don't have to do it at 1 or 2 in the morning. So it'll be great. I hope more families get a chance to come out and enjoy a concession stand hamburger or hot dog and check out warm-ups, so you get to watch all the players get ready for the game and face off at 7 o'clock this season.
Well, Jim, we appreciate your indispensable work here at the rink for all of the parties, all the partners that use this facility. Thank you.
Appreciate it. There's a lot of people that put a lot of volunteer time into the building, so I just get to be the person that directs the volunteer work, and they do all the behind the scenes.
And thanks for letting me drive the Zamboni, too.
You did great. You're on the list. We'll put you on the next open skate.
Well, there we go, Art. I'll have to leave at the 2-minute mark of each period this year to drive the Zamboni. There's more coming up on Wisconsin Rapids Community Media.
First of all, I want to welcome everyone here. Welcome to the Wisconsin Rapids Riverkings. Welcome to Wisconsin Rapids. Being part of River King, you're being part of a legacy that was started 5 years ago. Devin was on that first team. Wayne's been here since day one. Belinda's been here even before that when we were in the next town over. And I mean, it's something that a lot of people put a lot of time and a lot of effort into in building something that now is a destination where kids want to come play. And we have kids in college. We have, you know, one kid from our Saints playing some pro hockey right now, and that's going to continue. So you guys are a part of that, and I mean, being part of a legacy, now you get a chance to continue that and leave your own footprint as well. Welcoming you to the city comes with a responsibility as well. We're in a small town here. They've done a great job welcoming us, making us feel at home here with our billet situation. That's one of the reasons we moved the team here. With our sponsorship, that's why when you guys are going to walk in the locker room, you're going to see gear that you're not going to usually see at this level with the team getting this much stuff. Even in the USHL, like in Des Moines, we gave our guys a little bit more stuff because we had such a crappy locker room, you know, so we try to make up for it. In Sioux City, we had a really nice locker room, so the guys got like the bare minimum. So like you're gonna be treated well, and that comes with responsibility. You're expected to to carry yourself in a first-class manner, a professional manner all the time. Be on time for everything you do. So welcoming you to the city comes with responsibility. You need to be respectful to everyone in this town. They're all going to know who you are. They're going to know you're a River King. Think about what you do. Think about how you live your life. Think about how you do things. Every day you should get up in the morning, make your bed, have breakfast before you do anything. So you start your day off the right way. Be consistent with your effort, not just on the ice, but what you do off the ice as well. And if you do that, you're going to be amazed at not just how good you're going to be, how good our team's going to be. Because you're going to find, it's not a threat, but you're going to be found out eventually. So when guys do things and they think, oh, it's funny, and hey, I want you guys to have fun. You guys that played for me before, no, I'm not. I'm going to treat you like men. I want you guys to enjoy your lives as long as it's not breaking rules or breaking laws. Another big part of being here is the rink rules. So Jim Arnold's not here, but he's the only boss here. He's the only guy, even more so now than when Devin, when you were here, because now he's got the general manager role, and he's actually a huge ally for our team and doing this stuff with the field trips, some of the things. I mean, he set up these field trips, and Raymond and Tommy and you guys that were here last year doing that stuff, and Richie, you guys got to meet Grace from Grace's, and now we have a sponsor to wear a jersey for warm-ups only, and they're taking care of 75 people today when we go there for our meet and greet. And you know, I mean, that is because of Jim Arnold setting up a field trip. That is because of how you guys treated that field trip and took it professionally and made those kids feel a part of something, and it led to an opportunity for our team. Understand how it works? And Jim's a big part of that. So clean up after yourself, all right? We have our locker room duties. Our side of the rink's always going to be spotless. But there's a legacy that's been left here, and it's been based on respect and how they treat this rink. And we want to continue that. We want to step it up even a notch. The more you do for Jim, the more Jim's going to do for you. The less you do for Jim, the less Jim's going to do for you. So it's very simple. You want extra ice, you want to do some things, you want to be able to shoot pucks, you want to be able to work out here versus going to any time. Help Jim out, and he'll help you out. He'll do anything for you. He's one of the most giving guys I've ever met. Always give more than we're going to receive. Think about that. That's how we base this team. We want to give more than we're going to receive. We want to welcome more fans in. We want to be ultra nice to people at the rink and in the community. We're going to volunteer. We're never going to say no to anyone that needs our help as long as it doesn't interfere with our practice or game times. And that's our mindset. We're always going to give more than we receive. That's how we want our team to be perceived. It's how we want to be perceived in our locker room, how we do things for each other.
I'm Drake Bradshaw from Michigan, and I'm a goalie.
Yes, Drake.
I'm Devin Stroya from Michigan, and I play forward.
Raymond Fleming from Washington, and I play defense.
Peyton Carter from Texas, and I play forward. Jordan Steer, I'm also from Texas, and I play defense.
Zach Maselli from Chicago, and I play winger.
And just so you know, we'll let Zach go this time, but those who never presentable as khaki pants.
Stand up.
I'm Cole Krager out in Colorado, I play forward.
Do you want to model those first? Go, Will. Or Kyle.
My name's Kyle Smith. I'm from Rhode Island. I play forward.
I'm Zach Harley from Indiana, and I play defense.
I'm Jesse Evers from Rochester, and I play forward.
I'm Gabriel Smith. I'm from Australia, and I play forward.
Jared Stevenson from California, and I play forward.
My name is Ignatius. I play forward. I'm from Iowa.
Mason Haley. I'm from Iowa, and I play defense.
Justin Trevino, Texas, forward.
I'm Colin Moore from Southern California, defense.
Keen Hindley from Michigan. I'm a defenseman.
You gotta get your cuts together.
It looks like it.
Tanner Day, Anchorage, Alaska, forward.
Richie Young, I'm from Chicago, I'm forward.
Tomáš Kubiak, Czech Republic, and I'm forward.
Parker Upford, I'm from Indiana, and I'm goalie.
Chase McKenzie from Victoria, BC, and I'm a defenseman.
Tom Chaco, Whitby, Ontario, and I'm a goalie.
Volunteering, team time. So look the part, be on time, be respectful. Promote our team by giving back. Understand that? Promote who the River Kings are by what you're doing to help them when we're volunteering to do things. Don't think it's cool to be the guy that stands there and goes, oh, this is such bullshit. Oh, I could be doing this.
These people here, you know, they get paid from you to live in their house. But that isn't why they want you there. They want you to be part of their family. If they got kids, to spend a little time with them, not to walk in, to go in your bedroom and close the door. They want you, and the older boys will tell you that too. They want you to be part of their family, you know, and that's what you want to be. You want to be friendly to the mom and the dad, help out around the house when you can. Like I said, hang out with the little kids a little bit here and there, and you do all that kind of stuff. You're going to feel better, and they're going to feel better. So
absolutely. So the team, that everything you do, every decision you make, listen to me, listen closely. Every decision you make, from the moment you get up to the time you go to bed, you should ask yourself, does this help the team? Does this hurt the team? Not, does this help Marty? Does this hurt Marty? Does this help Jordan? Does it hurt Jordan? No. Every decision you make when you're part of this team, is this going to help the team? Is this going to hurt the team? And then that should be your deciding factor. You want to choose things that are going to help the team.
So we had an interesting first episode for River Kings hockey on this 2018-19 season, didn't we? Right on the Zamboni, some discussions inside the River Kings locker room, and a look at that very first players meeting of the year. That's just the start, fans. We're going to be bringing you River Kings hockey here on Wisconsin Rapids Community Media. On a regular basis, we'll be putting together programs just like this one that take you behind the scenes of River Kings hockey. Hope you enjoyed this episode. We'll be looking for you all fall and winter and into the spring on Wisconsin Rapids Community Media. For Art and Milt, I'm Milt Van Natta. We'll see you next time.